Hello everyone, this is Margarita with CityGal Papeterie. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. I hope you all enjoyed your New Year's. I have been recovering from being sick. You could probably hear that in my voice, but I wanted to start the new year with a brand new series that I will be calling Shop Your Stash series. This will be episode 1 of 12. I will have one first Monday of every month, where we can look through our stash, grab a supply or supplies of a particular theme that we haven't used often, or maybe haven't used at all. I have these pet themed stamps that I have never used. Some of them I've never used, and some of them I've only used once. This is a Kaiser Craft clear stamp set called Perfect Dog. And I had purchased these because I wanted to make some pet cards for my Etsy shop, and then I never got around to using them. I have the cat version of the same set, and then I've got these two Fiskars, Friends Forever and Barking Mad. Again, I got the dog and the cat version because I wanted to create cards for my Etsy shop, but I never used them. So these stamp sets, I don't know if they're available anymore, but I will be creating some cards with these. I hope that you can search your stash for maybe a stamp set that you have never used, or have wanted to use but didn't get around to it, or maybe used only once or twice and would love to use again. And craft with me. Pull out some ink and some cardstock and some card bases. And we'll make some cards today. I also have this Stampendous Franz cat sayings and dog sayings to incorporate into the cards as well. So I'm going to set these aside, and I'm going to create a design. I will be creating 6 cards, 2 cards of each design, but it will be one cat and one dog version of each design, if that makes sense. So we're going to get started now. And again, I'm hoping you'll craft with me. If not, you can always revisit this video to get some ideas for things that you can do with your own stamps that you haven't used in a while. I'm going to start by grabbing a 140-pound watercolor paper. And I'm going to start with the first stamp, which is the little set of kitties. I'm stamping that with some Hero Arts black ink. I do want to use watercolor, and I know that this ink is not going to run once it's dry and I wet the paper. That's what my little image looks like. I'm going to repeat that with the dog stamps. Now, this would be great if you have a stamping tool, so that you could repeat your stamp over and over in the same spot. I did not use my stamp tool, so later on when I want to restamp after painting, I'm not able to, so I end up using a black ink pen, but it does work out. But if you have a stamp tool, that would be great for something like this, because once you add the paint, the pigment of the paint is going to kind of fade out those black lines a little bit, and it'll be nice to go ahead and restamp your image and give it a nice crisp look again. So I'm going to be using my Vicky Bouin pigment powder. Somebody is blowing leaves right outside my window. It's really annoying, but I hope you don't hear that. Anyway, so distracting. So I pull out the cool blues and greens and the cool red and orange from the Vicky Bouin pigment powders, because I want to do one set of pets in the cool colors and one set of pets in the warm colors. I am going for an ombre design here, so I'm starting on the left hand side with the kitties with the warm colors. I do the orange. I just poured some of my powder in my little palette and then added a few drops of water to each color. And as I go to the color, I'm just blending the powder into the water to dissolve it, and it will become watercolor paint. These pigment powders have really vibrant colors, really vibrant look. So you don't need a lot of it. and a little does go a long way with them. I really like them, and I've been using them lately for different projects. Once I'm done with the kitties, I'm going to turn my palette around, and I'm going to repeat that process with the cool colors on the images of the dogs. For this one, I want to do the same thing. I want the lightest color all the way to the right hand side, so I just start from there since I dipped my brush immediately in the lightest color. And we just run with it. So you can probably already tell how the black lines from the black ink that was originally stamped is already a little bit faded. So at the end, I'm going to want to make my lines more crisp again. And in this case, like I said before, a stamping tool would be perfect to re-ink your stamps and re-stamp your images, but I didn't use that. So I do end up using a black ink pen, and that worked out just fine. So I'm working my way across the images of these little pups until I get to the darkest color. Now for this one, I do have to add a little bit more water because you can see how dark that color gets once the powder is melted. And by adding a little water, I can make it a bit more light once I add it to my paper. And because I don't let paint go to waste, I grabbed some pieces of cardstock and I added my colors to the cardstock in the similar style across the paper to use up my paint and create some backgrounds that I can use in my card design. I repeat that again with the warmer colors. Now I believe, unfortunately, these pigment powders are discontinued, but this is another supply that I want to make sure I use because I have it in my stash. But you could use any watercolors for this type of technique. Now I grabbed this Park Lane travel paper pad. It's huge. And I'm looking for a contrasting color that's going to go with both ombre sets of cards. One that's going to go with the cool colors and one that's going to go with the warm colors. I end up settling on a yellow patterned paper. This paper is kind of thin, so it's going to be part of the background, but I'm still going to want to add another matte to it. And so here I'm just trimming my paper down to 4x4, a square that I'm going to add behind my stamped image. And then I use these nesting heart dies to create a heart shape for my background with the painted papers that I had created using my leftover paints. Now I'm going to use one of the phrases from one of the stamp sets, and I'm going to put it right in the center of each of the hearts. I use the same phrase for both of them. It says, "You have left a paw print on my heart." Now, seeing that Valentine's Day is right around the corner, I think these would be awesome for a vet tech or a veterinarian that you know or that you are really happy with that takes care of your animals. This is the mat that I chose for the cards. For one of the cards, this one is going to go with the cool colors, so with the dogs. And I also chose the warm colored heart to give it some contrast. But yeah, like I was saying, I think these would be really great for someone who works or even in a shelter, in an animal shelter, just caring for animals. I think they would really appreciate a card like this. These cards are currently available in my shop if anyone is interested. I do create my cards and then list them because I don't have enough space to keep all of the cards that I make. So it's sort of a way to support my channel, allow me to be able to continue making videos like this and give me a little bit of room to make more projects as well. Now, I lost some footage because my battery died, which tends to happen to me a lot. I get distracted with my kids. I forget to pause my camera. I come back, keep working, and I totally forget that my battery's dying or dead. I don't check it. But anyway, I embossed 2 pieces of paper for the backgrounds here. This one's green, has a wood grain, and then I did a gold emboss for the silhouette stamp of the dog at the bottom, and then the definition for dog on the upper left. And again, I created those little swatch papers using leftover paint. The one on the right has a polka dot embossed in pattern on the background, and then the warmer colors, obviously, and the definition for cats. And then I added some coordinating twine on the card as well. And these are really sweet for maybe someone who just adopted a pet, perhaps adopted a cat or dog, or, brought home a new pet that is a cat or dog. And it's just a nice way of welcoming that new family member. For the next set of cards, I'm using splatters, again from the leftover paint. I grabbed my Distress Oxide ink pad here to stamp down my silhouette. I'm so sorry, I'm going to be losing my voice pretty soon from the talking. And then I create a silhouette in 3 different colors. I think I use 4 colors here, but I really only want 3 of them. And as you can see, the colors are being listed on the screen if you want to know what colors I used. And once I stamp these down, I'm going to be cutting them out of the background paper using circle punches or circle dies in differing shapes. Not differing shapes, that doesn't make sense, they're all circles, but in differing sizes. So one is going to be a smaller circle, one is going to be a medium, one a little larger, and I picked my 3 favorites. Then I trimmed down some more of that yellow paper because I do want to try and use it up now that I've pulled it out of the pad. I don't want to have too many scraps left over. And now I'm going to add a phrase to that yellow paper. This set is going to be birthday cards, so you'll have 1 dog themed birthday card and 1 cat themed birthday card. So that's the first one there. So it's a cute birthday card for someone who loves dogs, and here is the cat version of the same design, same card, with the warm colors. Of course, have a perfect birthday. And so here's a recap. This is the card that I didn't have the ending of, but that's how they turned out. I trimmed out the images, the stamped images, and then I added some zigzag stitching to the bottom, and then I propped them up on some foam tape, and I also added some paw prints on the hearts. This is the second set. And this is the third set, which is the birthday cards. So once again, if you're interested in purchasing these cards, they are available in the Etsy shop. But I am so happy that you joined me today. Thank you so much for watching. And I hope you're able to go to your stash, see what you have, pull out something you haven't used in a while, and just show it some love. It's 2022, and this is going to be one of my crafty goals, is to grab stuff from my stash and make sure I'm using it. Thank you again for watching. I'll see you guys next time.